Imagine waking up tomorrow and absolutely nothing has the power to shake you. Imagine the same situations that used to drain you, irritate you, or pull you into emotional chaos now bounce off you like pebbles hitting steel. Imagine your mind so centered, your emotions so trained, your spirit so locked in that people look at you and wonder, how are they so unbothered? How do they stay so calm when everything around them is on fire? That level of peace isn't magic. It's not some secret gift some people are born with. It's a skill, and today you're going to learn to build it. Most people live their entire lives reacting. Reacting to what someone said, reacting to what someone didn't say, reacting to opinions that don't matter, to situations they can't control, to emotions that don't even belong to them. They waste energy like a leaking pipe, slow, steady, draining them without them even noticing. And then they wonder why they're tired, frustrated, confused, overwhelmed. They've spent their entire day dancing to the rhythm of someone else's negativity. But there comes a moment in your life when you have to decide, are you going to keep giving the world the keys to your peace, or are you finally going to take ownership of it? Training yourself to be unbothered doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop over-caring. It means you stop giving emotional discounts to people who haven't earned even a full-price conversation. It means you build such a powerful sense of identity that external noise becomes exactly that, noise. Do you know why a lion doesn't turn around when a small dog barks? Because it knows who it is. You have to know who you are at the level where smallness no longer gets a response. And let me tell you something powerful. Emotional discipline is the highest form of strength. Anybody can scream. Anybody can overreact. Anybody can get triggered. But it takes mastery to stay calm. It takes training to breathe instead of explode. It takes consciousness to pause instead of spiral. Being unbothered is not passive. It is a deliberate act of power. It is choosing your response rather than surrendering to your impulses. People think the world around them needs to change for them to find peace. No. You need to change. Your environment may be loud, but your mind must be louder in its clarity. The world may be chaotic, but your inner world must be structured, disciplined, designed. If you're waiting for life to become calm, before you learn to be calm, you will wait forever. Storms don't end. You just learn to walk through the rain without flinching. That's real growth. The reason most people stay bothered is because they're addicted to emotional triggers. They don't even realize it. They've built habits around outrage, frustration, and overthinking. It's like a muscle they've been unintentionally training for years. And here's the truth, whatever you practice, you get good at. If you practice taking offense, you become an expert at it. If you practice defending yourself, you'll constantly look for attacks. If you practice worrying, it will become your default state. So you have to ask yourself right now, what emotional habits have I unconsciously built? And which ones am I finally ready to break? To become unbothered, you must recondition your responses. Your brain is running patterns, not miracles. Every time someone disrespects you and you react instantly, you reinforce the pattern. Every time someone tries to pull you into drama and you join in, you reinforce the pattern. Every time you overthink comments, looks, silence, you guessed it, you reinforce the pattern. But the moment you decide, no more, I'm choosing a different response, you interrupt the pattern, and repeated interruptions create new habits. That's how transformation happens. You have to learn the power of the pause. The pause is where your strength lives. The pause is where you choose who you're going to be. Most people go through life in reflex mode. They don't think, they just react. But when you pause, even for 1 second, you reclaim control. Your power is in the space between trigger and response. That one moment can save your day, your peace, your relationships, and your sanity. Train that moment like an athlete trains repetition. The more you practice it, the longer that pause becomes, and the more control you gain. The truth is, most things that bother you aren't even real problems. They're interpretations, stories, assumptions, ego wounds. And your mind, unstudied, undisciplined, will turn tiny situations into massive emotional storms if you let it. Think back to some of the things that stressed you out years ago. You're not even thinking about them now. They didn't matter, but at the time, they felt enormous. That shows you something important. You're not stressed by life. You're stressed by the lens you're using to look at life. Change the lens, change the entire experience. Being unbothered requires emotional filtration. Not everything deserves entry into your inner world. You need to filter opinions the same way you filter spam emails. Delete, delete, delete. Somebody doesn't like you. Delete. Someone misunderstood you. Delete. Someone tried to provoke you. Delete. They don't get automatic access. Make people earn the right to influence your emotional state. Treat your piece like a VIP section. Not everyone is getting in. And here's a truth many people avoid. You're bothered most by the things you haven't healed from. Your triggers are teachers. When something easily gets under your skin, it's showing you where you're still carrying wounds, insecurities, or unresolved stories. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, why does this touch me so deeply? What part of me needs strengthening? Growth begins when you see discomfort as data instead of danger. Your trigger is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of where you still need to build strength. When you learn to be unbothered, you move differently. You start walking with an energy that people can feel. You become harder to manipulate because emotional control is emotional protection. People can't push your buttons if they don't know where they are or if you've turned them off. Imagine operating from such grounded stability that people can't read you, can't shake you, can't pull you into their chaos. That's what inner mastery looks like. Not numbness, awareness, not detachment, composure, not apathy, clarity. Your nervous system is one of your greatest tools in this training. When something irritates you, your chest tightens, your shoulders rise, your breath shortens. Before your mind reacts, your body reacts. If you want to train yourself to be unbothered, start with the body. Lower your shoulders. Unclench your jaw, breathe slow. Move intentionally. Your body sends messages to your brain. Calm the body and the mind follows. Train your body to stay neutral, even when the world is chaotic, and you'll feel like someone just upgraded your entire operating system. You also have to let go of the need for control, specifically the need to control what others think, say, or do. You cannot control another human being's behavior, but you can control whether you let it live in your head. The weight of people's opinions is only as heavy as you allow it to be. The moment you stop trying to manage perception and start managing your own state, you become unstoppable. People may still talk, still criticize, still misunderstand, but their words hit a wall, not your heart. Building a mind that is unbothered means mastering perspective. You need to learn the difference between what matters and what doesn't. Most things draining you right now won't matter in a week, a month, or a year. But your energy matters now. Your mental clarity matters now. Your emotional health matters now. Protecting those is non-negotiable. Ask yourself daily, is this worth my peace? Is this worth my energy? Is this worth my time? 90% of the things you say yes to emotionally should actually be a no. To stay unbothered, you must upgrade your environment. The people around you shape your responses. If your circle is filled with drama, negativity, gossip, comparison, you'll absorb it. You can't stay peaceful in a war zone. Surround yourself with people who are grounded, intentional, emotionally mature. People who don't react to everything. People who carry themselves with grace and self-control. Peace is contagious just like chaos is contagious. Choose wisely what you inhale. Another key is self-respect. You cannot be unbothered if you don't respect yourself deeply. Because when you respect yourself, you know your worth. And when you know your worth, you stop explaining yourself. You stop defending yourself. You stop shrinking. You stop dealing with things beneath your level. People lose access. Situations lose their emotional grip. Your boundaries become solid. Self-respect makes you immune to foolishness. Training yourself to be unbothered is a daily practice. It's choosing not to overthink, choosing not to assume, choosing not to personalize, choosing not to catastrophize, choosing to observe instead of absorb, choosing peace over reaction, choosing clarity over chaos, choosing intention over impulse. And the more you make these choices, the stronger you become. Over time, people will notice the shift. They'll say, "You've changed," and you'll smile because yes, you have, intentionally. The day you stop letting everything bother you is the day you step into true power. You become someone who leads their emotions, not someone dragged by them. You become someone who responds consciously, not habitually. You become someone who owns their state, not someone who surrenders it. And that version of you That version is unstoppable. That version of you cannot be manipulated, cannot be shaken, cannot be thrown off balance. That version of you is free. So today, make the decision. Train the pause. Train the breath. Train the response. Train the mindset. Train the discipline. Build yourself into someone so grounded, so centered, so internally strong that the world looks at you and wonders what your secret is. And the truth will be simply, you trained yourself to be unbothered. And once you begin this training, something remarkable starts to happen. You stop chasing validation. You stop chasing approval. You stop needing everyone to understand you. Because the truth is, most people don't even understand themselves. How could they possibly define you? The moment you detach from the desire to be liked, you rise into the freedom of being yourself. And in that freedom, nothing bothers you because nothing controls you. You'll notice that when you no longer react, people get confused. Some will get frustrated because they were used to pulling emotional strings that don't work anymore. Some will poke and prod, trying to get a rise out of you. Not because they want to hurt you, but because your composure forces them to confront their own lack of control. And some will be inspired. Some will watch your emotional stability like a lighthouse and think, if they can hold themselves together like that, maybe I can too. Your calm becomes a quiet form of leadership. But let's be honest, training yourself to be unbothered requires facing parts of yourself you've been avoiding. You can't stay unbothered if you're living from wounds you refuse to acknowledge. Maybe the opinions that sting the most expose where you feel inadequate. Maybe the disrespect you tolerate shows where you've abandoned your standards. Maybe the things that irritate you highlight where you're overstretched, exhausted, or out of alignment with your values. You can't build emotional strength on top of emotional denial. To be unbothered, you must be honest with yourself. And honesty is where liberation begins. When you admit, this triggers me because deep down I still feel insecure, or this bothers me because I haven't healed from that experience, or I react because I'm tired and operating from empty. You reclaim power. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of other people's energy and start seeing yourself as the architect of your internal world. That shift alone transforms everything. You stop blaming the storm and start strengthening the ship. When you train yourself to be unbothered, you develop the ability to observe without attaching. Imagine walking through your day as if you're the sky and everything else is just weather. Someone shows attitude, clouds passing by. Someone tries to provoke you, wind brushing against you. Someone disagrees, misunderstands, mocks, criticizes, just noise. None of it becomes you. None of it sticks to you. You're the sky. You're the constant. You're the presence that remains unshaken. Do you realize how powerful that is? Most people live like leaves in the wind. You become the mountain beneath them. The less you react, the more you see. The more you observe, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the less you take personally. Because you begin to realize that everything people do is a reflection of their reality, not yours. Hurt people project hurt. Insecure people project insecurity. Lost people project confusion. Angry people project chaos. People act from their internal states, and most are battling storms you know nothing about. Why absorb storms that don't belong to you? Your mind becomes clearer when you stop taking things personally. Clarity is a form of strength. It helps you discern what deserves attention and what deserves to be ignored. And trust me, most things deserve to be ignored. You cannot live your purpose if you're constantly distracted by pettiness. You cannot rise to your next level if you keep stepping down to fight battles that don't matter. Every time you react, you lower your frequency. Every time you stay centered, you elevate it. Emotionally strong people don't fight useless fights. A huge part of being unbothered is mastering your focus. Your mind goes where your attention flows. If you focus on negativity, you'll find more of it. If you focus on problems, you'll multiply them. If you focus on possibilities, you'll create new realities. Most people live in prisons built from their own focus. They keep replaying conversations that don't matter. They keep imagining worst-case scenarios that never happen. They keep thinking about people who shouldn't have access to their thoughts at all. Train your focus, and the noise disappears. Focus is a discipline. You choose what stays, and you choose what goes. And when you train yourself to be unbothered, you learn the art of letting go. letting go of grudges, letting go of imagined offenses, letting go of overanalysis, letting go of emotional clutter. The mind, just like a room, gets messy. If you never clean it, everything feels overwhelming. But once you clear it, once you empty it of unnecessary stories, you feel light, powerful, in control. One of the most important pieces of this training is understanding that your energy is sacred. Every reaction costs energy. Every argument costs energy. Every overthought story costs energy. Every imagined insecurity costs energy. You have a limited amount of energy each day. Why waste it on nonsense? Why give your emotional power to people who don't even value your presence? Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because the quality of your life does depend on it. The moment you decide, my energy is too expensive for foolishness, life shifts. You begin guarding your peace with the same seriousness. You guard your money, your time, your opportunities. Because peace is wealth. Emotional stability is wealth. A quiet mind is wealth. You can't put a price on these things. And once you have them, you realize they're worth more than anything you ever chased. Training yourself to be unbothered also requires emotional detachment from outcomes you cannot control. You can give your best, and people may still misunderstand. You can speak your truth, and people may still twist it. You can be kind, and people may still be ungrateful. You can do everything right, and life may still throw you left. But when you're unbothered, you stop tying your peace to outcomes. You tie your peace to who you choose to be, not what the world chooses to do. Detachment is empowerment. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop losing yourself in what you care about. You stop trying to micromanage the universe. You stop trying to force what isn't meant for you. You stop trying to decode every expression, every silence, every detail. You give your all, but you let go of the rest. And that's when you discover an incredible sense of freedom, because nothing can control someone who is not attached to outcomes. But let's address the biggest challenge. People will test your peace, not always intentionally, but inevitably. You'll face situations that poke at your patience. You'll encounter personalities that trigger old habits. You'll deal with unexpected conflicts that tempt you to react. This is where the training becomes real. Anyone can be unbothered when life is smooth. True strength shows up in chaos. Think of it as resistance training for your emotional muscles. Every test is an opportunity to grow stronger. Sometimes the universe will keep sending the same kind of people, the same kind of conflicts, the same kind of triggers, until you master the lesson. And once you've learned to stay centered, once you no longer react the way you used to, those situations disappear from your life. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Your vibration changed. Your boundaries changed. Your reactions changed. And the world responds to the level of your internal mastery. Another part of being unbothered is learning how to self-regulate. Emotions are natural. What matters is how quickly you return to center. You might get irritated momentarily, but you don't stay there. You might feel offended at first, but you don't dwell there. You might feel hurt, but you don't spiral. Self-regulation is the ability to bring yourself back, the ability to calm your mind, steady your breath, choose your response. That's emotional adulthood, and emotional adulthood is rare, but it's the foundation of an unbothered life. You have to ask yourself, who do I want to be when challenges show up? Do you want to be the person who gets pulled into every argument? Who loses composure every time something goes wrong? Who lets small minds drag them into small conversations? Or do you want to be the person who rises above? Who sees clearly? Who leads with intention? Who cannot be shaken by trivial things? You have the power to choose. And here's a truth most people never realize: not responding is a response. Silence is a strategy. Walking away is an act of strength. You don't have to defend yourself to everyone. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to clear up every misunderstanding. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to protect your energy and keep moving. Let your actions speak. Let your peace speak. Let your growth speak. Being unbothered also means releasing the urge to control the narrative that others create about you. People will judge you no matter what you do. People will misunderstand no matter how clearly you speak. People will project onto you no matter how honest you are. But you don't have to participate in their version of you. You know who you are. You know your heart. You know your intention. And that is enough. When you train yourself to be unbothered, you learn to return to your center quickly. You develop rituals that anchor you: breathing, journaling, walking, meditating, praying, grounding yourself, speaking affirmations, whatever works for you. These rituals remind your nervous system, we are safe. We are in control. We choose peace. And the more you practice, the more automatic it becomes. Your nervous system learns to relax even in tension. Your mind learns to focus even in noise. Your spirit learns to stand firm even in uncertainty. People will notice you don't respond the way you used to. And that's how you know you've grown. Something that once triggered you deeply now barely touches you. Something that once consumed your thoughts now doesn't even cross your mind. Something that once kept you up at night now makes you shrug. That's evolution. That's emotional maturity. That's liberation. Imagine moving through life unshaken. Imagine conversations that used to drain you now becoming effortless because you no longer personalize them. Imagine situations that once overwhelmed you now feeling small. Imagine waking up each day with a grounded, focused, unbreakable sense of calm. Imagine how much energy you'll regain, how much clarity you'll feel, how much power you'll walk with. That is the life you create when you train yourself to be unbothered. And the best part, you're not becoming cold. You're not becoming numb. You're not becoming indifferent. You're becoming wise. Wise enough to know what matters and what doesn't. Wise enough to choose peace over pettiness. Wise enough to preserve your energy for the things that truly matter. Wise enough to understand that the world outside you will always be chaotic, but the world within you doesn't have to be. Keep training the calm. Keep training the pause. Keep training the breath. Keep training the perspective. Keep training the detachment. Keep training the self-respect. Keep training the stillness. You are building emotional armor not to block the world out, but to move through it with grace, power, and peace that cannot be taken away.